Hi, I'm Connie Morella, and I had the opportunity, the privilege, as a matter of fact, of representing a part of Maryland in the House of Representatives for 16 years. And during that time, of course, we cast so many votes, and certainly defense and the economic matters. And people sometimes wonder about how Congress affects their everyday lives. Well, just ask those parents who are able to adopt a child from China who might not have been able to otherwise without the intercession. Just ask that woman who didn't get her Social Security check for several months because of a problem with the address, or just ask that man who didn't get his retirement check, the child who needs to have special education but was denied it because of some red tape. Just ask all those people how it affects their lives, and they will tell you that I serve in the people's house. I take that term literally. the people's house. You represent the people who sent you there. Also, look at the broader picture. What about the funding for transportation needs in each and every community? In the greater Washington area, where I serve, the metro system was very important, and a great deal of that funding came from the federal government, the ability to get around. In addition to that, if I could be specific about a district that represents the nation, I represent the National Institutes of Health. And back in 1989, while you were all probably in kindergarten or in elementary school, in 1989, we did a survey and found that our National Institutes of Health, premier world facility for medical research, was not utilizing women in their clinical trials and the protocols. In other words, they weren't looking at how illnesses affected women specifically or how it differed from men. In fact, they considered women to be little men. So as a result of legislation very carefully crafted, and I was a major part of that legislation, we have since that time, since 1990, had an Office of Research on Women's Health. The studies that have been done, the work that has been done since then to demonstrate differences and therefore diagnosis and treatment and prevention has been incredible. Whether it's HIV and AIDS, whether it's cardiovascular disease, whether it's one of the many different cancers, it has made a difference in people's lives. So, my friends, I hope you'll get involved in government because members of Congress help individuals, they help groups, they help with legislation also that affects all people. And I hope that you will be there to make a difference.
Hi, my name's John Herson, and I'm president of the National Conference of State Legislatures. I serve the state of Maryland as a delegate representing an area called Chevy Chase in Maryland, and I've done that for 15 years. And I currently serve as chairman of our Health and Government Operations Committee in the state of Maryland. I'd like to tell you about how state government really affects your lives. What we do at the state level impacts so many different areas of your everyday life. Things like health, transportation, education. As chairman of the Health Committee last year, we expanded our children's health insurance program to cover over 120,000 children in our state. We provide all the basic care for them, hospitalization, and we also provide all kinds of other public programs that reach out to people with certain diseases, AIDS, kidney dialysis. Those are all state-run programs. We also provide education in the healthcare area. So in terms of the things that affect your life and how healthcare is delivered in your state, that's the state government bringing that to you. We also have major influence over transportation decisions, things that directly affect your neighborhood, where you go to work, how you get there, whether or not you can take transit or take buses, or whether or not a new highway gets built, and how those things are funded. Those are all state-level decisions made by your legislature and your governor together with their departments of transportation. So those issues about where things are going to be located in terms of transportation, highways, roads, are really state decisions. And finally, probably one of the biggest issues that affects your life in a state is education. Educating the children of the state is a state responsibility. And the decisions about how your children's going to learn, how they're going to be taught, who's going to teach them, whether or not there are aides in the classroom, what kind of subjects they're going to study. Those are all state-level decisions. How we test children, that's a state decision. How we're going to make sure that they're learning. All of these things are things that affect your life, your children's lives, and the lives of our community. Education, health, transportation are just 3 areas that the state is involved in affecting your life. Those are very important areas, and there are many, many more areas that the state and the legislature and the governors affect your life.
In many ways, the main work of the Congress is to help with the extraordinary events. When war breaks out, when terrorists threaten, when recession hits, when disease spreads, when natural disasters strike. But Congress also has a major impact on people's ordinary lives, much more than is often recognized. To be sure, there will always be room for argument about how the government goes about these various responsibilities. Certainly, government doesn't always get it right or do it in the most efficient manner. People can legitimately disagree about whether this agency has gone too far in regulating the workplace or that one has not gone far enough in protecting the environment. But the impulse that lies behind federal action, the desire to produce a higher quality of life for all Americans, is much harder to argue with. There are issues of safety, security, and opportunity that you don't even notice today, because at some point in the past, someone in Congress did take note and did something about them.